So I want to talk about these two great looking and really affordable guitars from Gretsch. So this one here is the G2420, and on this side it's the G2622T. The T just means it's got the licensed Bigsby tremolo on the bridge. Now these guitars have bags of character, and they both go for around just under £400 in the UK. So really not expensive guitars, but really good value for money, I think. Let me talk you through each model. So both of these guitars have a lot in common. They have the same Broadtron humbucker pickups, they have the same controls, a master volume here, a three-way selector switch for the pickups there. You've got separate volume controls for each pickup here, and a tone control. So they've got a lot in common on paper. I mean, apart from the looks and the Bigsby, the main difference between these two guitars is that this, the 2420, is fully hollow bodied. Now that's rare to find a fully hollow bodied electric guitar. And for those of you who are used to amplifying acoustic guitars, you will know that hollow-bodied instruments, you get issues with feedback when you play them at loud volumes. This, to me, it just looks like a jazz guitar. Now, I know that it's not particularly set up to be a jazz guitar, and I've certainly read people online who say that the pickups are too bright to be a jazz guitar, which is something I don't necessarily agree with. But to me, this thing screams jazz guitar, and the fact that it's fully hollow-bodied, to me also suggests jazz guitar, because if you're going to use it to play things like rock and blues and country, then anything loud, you're going to get problems with feedback. So, yeah, this works well, I think, for kind of quiet jazz playing. So what I did when I got this guitar was I took off the strings, which I think were 1046 strings that they came shipped with, because that to me is just too light to get the kind of jazz sound that I wanted, and I put on a set of Thomastik 1250 I think they were, and they're flat wound guitar strings. Putting those heavier strings on, I just straight away, it was absolutely fine. There was nothing I needed to do. It was all good. The bridge was fine. The nut was fine. The setup and the action and the intonation were all fine. And I really love it. So I tend to play this one switched onto the neck pickup. And yeah, I roll the tone quite a long way off to take some of that brightness off the pickups. I mean, that's what a tone control's for. If your pickups are bright and you want to make a slightly darker sound, you roll the tone off, and it works perfectly. It really didn't take me long to dial this in. And I play this guitar a lot at home. I can play it at home without needing to amplify it, and I can use it to practice jazz and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, I just really love this guitar. It's a great guitar for playing at home, and it's a great guitar for playing on quiet gigs like jazz gigs. You know, maybe not for playing on loud rock and roll gigs, but it's a lovely guitar with bundles of character. So this one, the G2622T, is much more like a standard semi-hollow electric guitar with the solid block going through the middle, which is basically to avoid the feedback issues you get playing at loud volumes or playing with lots of distortion on the guitar. So you can use this guitar much more for playing things like rock and blues, and it's more suitable for that, more suitable for playing at loud volumes. And again, it's a really nice guitar. I really enjoyed playing it. I mean, this is a licensed Bigsby bridge. I think it's made in Indonesia. And these things, I mean, Bigsby's generally are notorious for tuning issues. And I have had tuning issues with this guitar. So when you push when you kind of bend the strings down using the Bigsby bridge, they tend to come back flat, and then when you pull it back, they come back sharp, which is really annoying. And I found a few things that have helped to improve that, and I've got it into a more playable situation. And what I've done is I've put slightly heavier strings on. I've also lubricated the slots in the bridge, and I've lubricated the slots in the nut as well, which just helps the strings move through more smoothly. And the other thing that I've done, which is I've done a bit of a cowboy job on it, because it's only a cheap guitar, but I've put in these little bits of wood under the Bigsby as a shim. So I've actually raised the Bigsby up by about 6mm, and what that's done is that's made less of an angle going over the bridge, and that also helps with the tuning situation. Having said that, with a Bigsby on, you're always going to have more tuning issues than if you don't have a Bigsby on, and that's always going to be the case. So what I've done has made it better, but it hasn't completely solved the problems. But having said that, I still really enjoy playing this guitar, and it is a lovely sounding guitar, and I think it looks great as well. So I certainly wouldn't want to put you off from buying one.